So I am super thrilled to have this podcast today. Today I'm talking to Noah and Grace Roberts. So, Grace, you got started in the business. Let's just kind of jump back. You got started in the business when you just became an adult, right?
Yes. I was 18 when I got my license. I knew in high school that I wanted to get my license right away. I was really young graduating. I graduated when I was 17, so I had to get a little filler job before my 18th birthday when I knew I could get my license. But then the day of my 18th birthday, I purchased the course. I actually did my course in person for 2 weeks, went on, took the test, and it was 3 months after my 18th birthday that I officially became a real estate agent.
18, you're a real estate agent full time. Did you know this is what you were going to do?
I always knew that I wanted to be in sales. I love everything about sales. I love the psychology behind it. I love that with certain types of sales that you're able to help people. So I always knew that I wanted to go into sales. I wasn't totally sure where I wanted to land. So when I started in real estate, I was also a full-time college student. So I ended up graduating with my bachelor's degree while still being a real estate agent. And during those 4 years of school, I fell in love with the career and I knew I wanted to stay in real estate forever.
Grace as a kid. One time, she may not remember this, but I think you were probably 14 or 15, and you even made the comment, I love houses too, and I want to be in sales. So I probably will be a real estate agent when I grow up.
When she was 14.
Yes.
Yes. And by the way, everybody, they're high school sweethearts. You guys have been married for how many years now?
Coming right up on 6.
In what grade did you meet?
Well, I first met Grace at the babysitter when I was 5 and she was 3, I believe it was. So that's when we met.
And the
Love it.
babysitter that he's talking to is now on our real estate team.
That's my aunt, yeah.
It's true,
Yeah.
right? That's awesome. Just give everybody a perspective, how old you are now and how many transactions, not including the team transactions, how many transactions are you doing, what are you projected to do this year?
So I'm 25, just turned 25 in August, and this year we're projected to, or just me, myself, is projected to close about 120 transactions.
120 transactions at 25, right?
Yes.
The full first year, how many transactions? When you're probably 19 years old, how many transactions?
The first full year, I didn't sell anything for the first 6 months of my career. But then by the end
Yeah.
of the year, I think I ended up closing just over 30 transactions. Once it kind of started snowballing, I hit a really good groove. It was a really successful first year. I ended up winning Realtor of the Year in my association, my first full year in real estate due to those snowball effect months, but in the beginning, but it was really cool.
So 19 years old, selling 30 transactions. That's more than most people make when they're 19 years old. You realize this, right?
Yes. That was a big adjustment as well because I grew up in a very modest home, and so having all that happen to me when I was 19, it was it was crazy. And that's when I started investing back into real estate, buying rentals, building my rental portfolio.
So you bought your first rental property when you were how old?
I was 18 when I bought my first rental house. It was a duplex kind of situation. So me and Noah lived in the front and then we rented out the back. And then when I was 19 is when we bought our second one, and third, fourth, fifth, sixth started coming after that.
Actually, to reel it a little bit on that one, Grace was actually not completely out of high school yet when we bought that 2 unit. We were just simply dating at the time, about to be engaged. And I was like, I don't have enough money to buy this on my own, and I'm going to need some of yours. So let's enter into a business agreement, at least on this. And that's when we started.
Well, technically, you had a business agreement before you had a marital agreement.
That's
Yes.
exactly right. Yes.
That's fun. 30 transactions when you're 19. What was like the progression? When did you hit 100 transactions?
I hit 100. Well, actually, before I came to Michigan Top Producers, the most I'd ever sold solo in a year was 99 transactions, which was so frustrating to me. I was trying to get to that 100 so hard. And that was my third year in real estate. So, my third year in real estate, I hit 99 transactions. And then it wasn't until last year when I was 24 that I closed 105 transactions in 1 year.
So Noah, why didn't you guys buy another rental property so you could have got her to 100?
Yeah, I know.
Could have just bought another house, right?
You
Definitely.
should
And
have.
counted that as a sale. All right, so here's a question for you. So people have excuses, right? Everybody has self-limiting beliefs, or most people have self-limiting beliefs. And like when I'm coaching somebody, I'll say, how many transactions do you want to do next year? And they say, I want to do 40, Manoa. And I said, how'd you come up with that? And they said, because I did 30 last year. And I look at that as not a goal. I look at that as a self-limiting belief because they're actually basing their goals based on what they've done in the past, right? So we have this drunk monkey in our head that tells us why we can't do things. This is a little abnormal and fantastic. That there's two things I think would have affected most people, Grace, is that you're a new agent and you're also 18 years old. You didn't come into the industry saying, hey, I'm a brand new agent. I'm not going to sell that many transactions. You also didn't say, hey, I'm 18 years old. No one's going to want to talk to an 18-year-old. So can you deep dive on that?
Yeah, so my whole mentality coming into it, because in this area in Branch County where I primarily do my business, when I started in real estate, I was the youngest agent by like 20 years. So it was really different for people to see someone so young in real estate. So I kind of had that to my advantage of, well, I looked at it as an advantage where it was someone new, someone fresh, someone who could utilize social media marketing. And my motto the entire time was just to fake it until I made it. Didn't know everything. I still, to this day, will admit I don't know everything. I don't think anyone really does. But if I didn't know the answer to something, I just kind of had my sales skills where I'd say, okay, well, I want to make sure I get you 100% the correct answer, and I'm going to look here and get right back with you. So I never brought up my age. Obviously, I looked like a baby. I was 18 years old. So people would ask me sometimes, well, how long have you been in real estate? And when they would ask me that, I would say, well, I'm newer to the business, but you get my full attention all the time because I am new. So I would never bring it up. I would never bring attention to it. And truly, I just kept faking it until I started to catch on and really started moving.
So when you're 18 years old, a lot of times we get involved in business, we're going to find our business from our friends, right? Friends and people we know. The majority of the amount of the people you knew since you graduated early were still in high school.
Yes.
So how did you end up selling 30 houses in your first year? Tell us, where did you get your business from?
So I did something different for my area. Like I said, I was the youngest agent by about 20 years. So I dove into social media headfirst. I was making multiple videos a day, presenting myself like a true market professional. I would talk about things happening in the market, and I would grow my page by going out to community events, meeting people, networking. That to this day is the core of my business, is networking and meeting people organically. I think for me personally, the most enjoyable transactions are the ones where you do kind of have that relationship with the person. And if you don't start with a relationship, by the end of the transaction, you do have a relationship with them. So networking, social media, no one else in my area was utilizing social media. The agents, actually, the top producers in my market when I started copying my social media as the 18-year-old. So I took that as a compliment. I must be doing something right if the top producers are now copying me. So really, it was a lot of social media and just doing things that other people weren't doing, getting your face in front of a video, letting people kind of get to know your personality through the video, so that when they do meet you in person, when I would meet clients in person, they acted like they knew me. They would say, "Oh, how was your trip here? How was this night or whatever?" Because they were watching my videos, and it helped build that relationship and trust.
When you first started posting, who did you learn that from?
I do have a marketing degree in bachelor's marketing degree, and I was learning that in college while I was going. But also, what I would do is I would follow agents in bigger cities, bigger areas, and just kind of get inspiration from them. I would never fully copy them, but I would see what people were doing, the successful agents were doing, and I kind of shadowed that and tried to bring that down to a small town vibe rather than the big city, and it it worked really well.
We know success leaves clues, right? And you just followed somebody else who was successful and just did it your own, right?
Yep.
Which is pretty awesome. Noah, does she film everything? Like, I
Yes.
mean, you're constantly in the
Yeah,
videos too, aren't
her
you?
mom also has, I think, 600,000 followers on TikTok now. So the social media blood must run in the family because we are at home and Grace is always taking pictures or filming, or we go over to her mom's house and then she's wanting to take pictures or film. So I feel like I can never escape it quite, but I'm okay with it.
How many followers do you have? A typical week of views, what does that look like for you? And what does a typical week today in your business look like in your posting schedule?
So for my posting schedule, I do every weekday. I'll make a post, and then on the weekends, if I get a new listing or if I'm having an open house, I'll post that. But other than that, I kind of leave the weekends alone. On average, one of my posts will get about 20,000 interactions, and the good part is most of them are local. So I'll share my post into group pages just because that's a good way to I'll go out I'll be at the grocery store and someone will say like, "Oh, you're that girl I always see on Facebook that's selling houses." And I'm like, "Yes, good. Okay, it's working." Because I'm sharing my content to local pages where I wouldn't necessarily have access to these people. So, all in all, like when I look at my metrics at the end of a week, usually I've hit at least 70,000 interactions, just depending on the content I'm posting. I can tell if I've kind of slacked off on my content for the week. I'm like, okay, I'm just posting listings, like this isn't getting as good of engagement. So I try to always have like one personal post mixed in with my real estate because anyone can post houses, anyone can post that they sold a house, but the part that really has done well for me is posting about your personality, posting about why people would want to work with you, that kind of thing.
So how many people are in you guys' area? I
I
mean,
have
like
less
in your area, how
than
many people are?
Yeah, less than 100,000 people are in the town that me and Noah actually live in.
And in this area, you're going to sell probably 122 houses.
Yes.
It's a high percentage, guys.
Yeah.
And when you said 70,000 people watch your videos every week, if there's less than 100,000, I mean, the most of the amount of people in your area are watching your videos every week, aren't they?
Yes.
That's very cool. So, other than your social media, I think you said networking. So, talk to us about networking. Then we're going to shift into the new thing you guys started working on a couple of years ago, is because on top of doing your own business, Grace, you and Noah, and along with my partner David Lamb, you guys are running a very successful real estate team now too, right? So, talk to us about the networking. What kind of networking? What do you get to do every week?
Yeah. So, networking wise, really, I don't look too much into it. I take any opportunity that I'm given as a networking opportunity. We go out to dinner, we see people that we know, and we just kind of talk to them. And any event that I go to, which I know a lot of realtors are like this, where they're like, well, anything we go to is a networking event. So I try to look at things like that. One thing too, as a younger agent, networking wise, that I kind of want to hit on is one thing that helped me a lot is even being a younger person, in that span of time, I had my 21st birthday and these kind of events where some younger people might not carry themselves in the most professional way. I'm always carrying myself in a professional manner. I see a lot of younger agents maybe posting things or not representing themselves as a market professional. And I think that's another reason why my age didn't affect my growth as an agent. So having networking opportunities, but during those networking opportunities, always carrying yourself professionally.
Great advice. Hey, you guys, you started a team with my partner, David Lamb, who runs the real estate company with me. You guys jumped into something you've never done before. How many years has it been?
Our 2-year anniversary is coming up. We have our little party next weekend where we're going to celebrate with everyone.
So, Noah, you spent a lot of, you guys both run the team along with David. Noah, you spent a lot of the time inside the team.
Yes.
How many agents do you guys currently have on the
We
team?
currently have 16 agents, but that includes Grace, myself, and Dave. So 13 active agents that we're managing.
Without Grace's business of that 122, how many transactions are those 13 agents selling inside of the team?
They're on average this year to each do 24 transactions per person. So that would total 380 is what we're on track to do this year in 25.
So in 24 months, you built a team to that many agents and everybody's selling about 24 transactions.
So it's been a journey. I want to kind of go back to the beginning of this when Grace and Dave, they started their real estate team. One thing that they were looking for is brand new agents, which most people who start a real estate team probably are not looking to hire brand new agents, but I did think it was a good strategy at the time. They thought they had a really good product and a really good support staff at Michigan Top Producers as well to support that team. And so they just molded each one of those agents into exactly what they wanted them to be. And obviously, it has worked now at this point because if you look under the covers at most offices, you don't have each agent at just any real estate office selling 24 transactions per year. So I really think they did a good thing by hiring new agents. Now, of course, we've taken on some agents who are realtors before and worked them into our system, and it's also working for them as well. But that was really their strategy at the beginning, is hiring brand new agents, and I think it was just genius.
What's your plans with the teams going forward?
So we are really excited. This year is going to be the completion of our new office space in downtown Coldwater. So 2 years it's kind of a short amount of time to be in business. So we're still kind of establishing ourselves as a staple in the community as far as, especially being in a small town, sometimes it's hard to really like get your foot in. So the new building is set to be completed this coming spring. And with that, we plan to just really get involved in community events, having the team space as many places as we can have it to just kind of improve their business and make our company a little more known.
Awesome. So when we build teams, there's really three things we're always looking at. We're looking at these three things: recruiting, how many agents we obviously have, per agent production, because that affects recruiting, that affects everything, it affects the culture of your team, right? The per agent production and the systems to support your agents and also your clients. How did you guys learn and what did you guys do to scale this so quickly into new agents selling 24 transactions within just a 24-month period of time?
The formula that Grace kind of always went back to when she started the team was, there's going to be no drama on our real estate team, no drama. And we're going to build a culture here where everybody supports one another. And really, that was the driving factor that pushes everybody to doing that 24 transactions per year on average per agent. In our first year, we had one agent who had never sold a house before. She was a paraprofessional at the schools for 26 years. And she came in and she sold 44 or 46 transactions in her first year. And that was amazing. But again, it was all a testament to the culture, fitting that mold and just working the system. And also to go back to that as well, as we have company provided leads that also gets them off the ground right off the bat. So they're not just coming in and looking at us going, so what do I do to get business? We have a plan for them up front. And then if they follow that plan, really it just takes right off. And again, it's a testament to the culture that we've built on our real estate team. Everybody is sharing everyone's posts. Everyone is just as big of a cheerleader for everyone else as themselves. And that's just really what has grown the team and what continues to drive it to the next level, in my opinion.
And then just so everybody understands, you guys are a team within our company and we're a team of teams. We built that, and that's the culture of our whole company, right? And if you just plug into what we tell you to do, you become successful. And you guys have done a great job at that. Noah, you personally, now we talk about leads. We have the Zillow Flex account. And Noah, I think 9 months in a row, you had the best KPIs of the entire company.
Yes.
What do you do that is your success that allows you to have the best KPIs of a very large company? Because we have about 103 agents now.
Well, you don't need
and you were number one.
You don't need to make my head any bigger
me.
than it already is, Dave. Okay, but I will gladly take this and run with.
I can continue if you want.
That's okay. Grace might help.
Oh, you're awesome. Tell us how you do this.
Yeah. So
please,
with the company provided leads, I think that a lot of people truly get bogged down with the person who might just be calling to get information on that house, or the person who might not be ready to buy for a year or 2 years. That really bogs them down. And one thing that I have always made sure to do with the lead system is to treat those leads as each one of them were my cousin, my sister, or my family member. And what that's allowed me to do is give them all the same energy that I would give, again, somebody who I truly love and care about. And from doing that, I've seen my numbers go up. I've seen my sales go up. And that's really just my main focus. And I think a lot of people have come to me during that time throughout the company going, "What are you doing?" Expecting some crazy scientific answer, some formula answer. And that's my answer every time. It truly is. And that's what continues to drive me is making sure everybody feels the same. And one thing I've noticed is I'm closing transactions of people I met 30 days ago, but I'm also closing transactions of people I met a year and a half ago. And so when they call me,
Yeah.
sometimes we haven't talked in a couple weeks or a couple months and they see a house that they like, they remember my name because up front, when I talked to them, I really gave them the time of day and I made sure to pour all of my energy and my effort into them.
One of the things I noticed about you, Noah, is that, we have lots of leads, right? But you've never been a quantity kind of guy. You've been a quality. So you don't take a ton of leads, but you make sure that the ones you do take, you take a reasonable amount, the ones you can provide high quality services.
That's exactly right. And I appreciate you reminding me on that. Most agents who are in the high numbers of our company, they're taking anywhere between 15 and 25 leads a month from the data that we have. I don't believe I ever was taking more than 10, 12 leads a month. And what that's allowed me to do is, again, like I was saying, is give them that energy and that effort that each client deserves and setting them up on a timeline. If it wasn't 30 days, is it going to be 2 years? And that's totally fine. But making sure they're all taken care of to the extent that they deserve, right?
Absolutely. One thing that just amazes me about you guys, and I wasn't amazed until we started this podcast, about a few minutes before the podcast, you guys told me you just hired an assistant. So I'm shaking my head. 122 sales, Grace. Noah, you're doing a bunch of transactions. You guys are running a team, and you have done this without any assistance. How have you been able to maintain your balance with your life and your business and to service clients at such high level, and you only got 24 hours a day, same as everybody else? Who wants to dig into that?
Well, from my perspective, before I joined Michigan Top Producers, it was me doing it all alone without Noah's help at all. So truly, real estate was it was everything to me. I mean, it still is, but it literally took up every aspect of our life. And with real estate, like it can be a very fun job where like you're out networking or you're out showing houses, but you have that relationship with someone. And really what pushed us to be like, okay, we need to put some moderation on this is us expecting a baby. So with that, we were like, okay, real estate is not going to be everything to us anymore. We are adding something very important to our family. And so with that, we decided that it was time to kind of let go of some of the reins on things and hand it over to somebody else to help us out.
And when I switched over into helping in real estate, really, I was helping manage the team and then also working as an assistant under Grace, just inevitably helping along with transactions. And that's gotten to the point now where, of course, like we were just mentioning, sales have started to increase for me as well as helping manage the team. And it just was the progression, right? So we got to the point where it just made total sense. And it probably made total sense a year and a half ago, but we have made do from not a lot of sleep, but we make it happen for everybody and just make it seamless for the clients so they don't understand how busy we are.
You guys have a passion for what you do, right?
Yeah.
So I coach a lot of husband and wives, married couples that are or partners that are involved in running a team and running businesses. And for a lot of people, that's a challenge, right? We always talk about the lanes. This is your lane, this is my lane, keeping lanes separate. What is some advice that you can give somebody that is working with their spouse or their partner?
We had to set some boundaries of like, okay, we go out to dinner, like we're not talking about work the entire time because there's always things to talk about with work. There's even like funny stories or entertaining things that happen in real estate, as everyone knows. But during that time, we just kind of set that boundary of we're not going to be talking about work. Like this is time for us to actually have quality time where it's not all about real estate. And that's helped a lot.
And that can be tough. There's no perfect answer to this question. I think when Grace and I go to dinner, we stop at a rental house on the way to dinner. So it's hard not being all about work all the time. Inevitably, I think it becomes that. But kind of a funny story on that. I had my car detailed the other day, and the question you're wondering is the same question the car detailer was wondering. He said, "Hey, Grace sold my house a few years ago. I guess I didn't realize you guys were in real estate together." He's like, "So you guys eat, sleep, play, and work together. How are you not divorced 3 times over?" And I giggle a little bit with him. Again, same thing, just setting those boundaries and having fun with it, really, at the end of the day. As Grace and I both enjoy what we do. We are very passionate about what we do, but also our relationship is very important to us. So we have to section that off and make sure to pour into that as well.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask you for advice. Couple things here. I'm going to ask you for advice, first of all, on solo agent, somebody in the Grace, like when you're starting off at 18 and then where you are now, and then a couple pieces of advice for a team leader. So Grace, give me like 1, 2, 3. This is advice for a solo agent.
So for a solo agent, I would say starting off, you can't come across as like needy or desperate. Just actually having a passion for what you're doing and not making it seem like you're just out to make a paycheck. Like I've worked with buyers where they're like, "Oh my gosh, like it seems like you actually care." And I mean, caring isn't something you can be taught, but that is something that is going to make you successful in real estate. Number 2, I would say use every opportunity you can as a networking opportunity. Always carry yourself professionally. That has been a huge way that I've grown my business. And number 3, I say this to all of my new agents, but just put good out into the world and it will come back to you in the way of your client needs help with something, your client can't do this or can't do that. Like be willing to be flexible and help people out because that comes back tenfold.
How about for a team? Running a team. You guys are 24 months into this, average agent production, about 24 transactions. You're doing something right for sure. What are a couple of advice you would give somebody running a team?
Yeah, I think that the number one total, Grace, disagree with me if I'm wrong. I think the number one total reason why you start a team is because you love real estate so much and you want other people to experience it with you. And that was really Grace's driving factor. So she wanted other people to experience the same joys of selling real estate as she has. And that was a genuine feeling, right? So like pushing that out and getting her agents to do just as well as she has, having that same experience with real estate is a great start for starting a team.
Great. Anything else, Grace?
I think just having a really good culture behind your team, starting a team and having a bad culture is just a recipe for disaster. So having it where when you all get together, everyone's excited about it. Like our team party next weekend, I've had many of our agents reach out and just be like, "Oh my, I'm so excited to get together with everyone," because in real estate, you're not seeing each other every day. So having a good culture, knowing that you can rely on your team, ask questions, not feel like anything is a dumb question, just having the good vibes within your team.
Well, I'm truly honored to be working with both of you. And thank you so much for doing this podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
You.
See you guys. Bye now.
See ya.
Thanks for watching. This is David Thompson. David Thompson 360 podcast can be found at any of your podcast players or at davidthompson360.com.